So if you were somebody who was in charge, and now that we have some more data, would you say open it back up to getting the economy going and businesses opening back up? Is that what you're suggesting, that it's time for us to do that?
Yep, I would institute randomized testing of the entire population, randomized. We don't have to test every single, statistics works. We can do random testing. I would institute masks and social distancing, and I would put people back to work. And for those that were most at risk, I would say continue to quarantine until this abates. But here's the deal. Those people aren't going to want to stay cooped up for 12 to 18 months that Dr. Fauci thinks it's going to take to get a vaccine. So what I predict will happen is people will be wearing these masks for about 2 weeks, and then they'll be back to work, and then the masks are going to come off, and then they're just going to start living their lives again. I think what we have now is mass hysteria and mass fear, and we need to get back in contact with each other again. And as we get back in contact with each other again, we'll realize that we're not going to die every time we see somebody. And when that happens, we're going to get tired of wearing masks and doing the elbow bump, and it's going to go back to the way things were. But we need to be able to get people out of their homes and in contact with each other and actually running the economy, because if we don't, we're going to be in a big trouble, and the country is not going to be able to deal with the social disorder that's going to come from this long-term economic shutdown.
Is the way of doing business forever changed, or no, we'll forget about this and move on in the next 6-12 months?
We'll forget about it and move on.
You think we're going to forget about it and move on?
I think we're going to forget about it and move on.
Interesting.
People have very short memories. We just need to get rid of the fear, create some certainty, understand that no, everybody's not going to die. Some people won't even get sick. Most people, 85% of the people or so, will not even have symptoms.
It's a big number. 85% won't even have. And you're hearing about some people even being immune to it, meaning they can't even get it. Like even if you.
Well, and that would be the 85% that don't have symptoms. I mean, essentially, disease really comes from the reaction of the body to fighting the organism, and the fact that you have some pre-existing medical condition or you're elderly.
So you're thinking a part of the solution is immediate herd immunity with a form of quarantine for those who are above a certain age to keep staying safe until this goes back to normal. So you're for a form of herd immunity.
So yes, but I'm also for flattening the curve. I recognize that, and particularly, and this is what I said also in the beginning, the entire country is not New York. If you've lived in New York, and I have, you understand the population density is such that it needs to act differently than Fresno, California, where I grew up, right? We're not packed like sardines in Fresno, California, but we definitely are in Manhattan, and 40% of the people are riding the subway. So that's a different situation. So each locality in the United States needs to have different rules peculiar to that locality. And then we need to take precautions, as I said. So I'm not against flattening the curve. And so if we wanted to take 2 weeks off until we could get the right procedures so that people understood that you wear a mask not to protect yourself, you wear a mask to protect other people from what's coming, what you're breathing out. So if you are asymptomatic, you're not breathing those out up to 13 feet away from your body. And so, and then not shaking hands. Again, that makes sense in this current environment. But here's the deal. If we don't have a vaccine in 18 months, like Fauci says, then what are those people that are at risk going to do? I mean, there's been people that are 85 years old that have lived through the virus. People do not do well if they're cooped up in their house for months on end, and this country won't do well economically if we do that. And so you had to do some curve flattening, but then we needed to get right back to work and really understand that we are going to get through this. It's not, this coronavirus is not so deadly, so much more deadly than the common flu. We lost 60,000 people last year to the flu, by the way.